Welcome to this Yamaha Discovery video all about the compatibility of GENOS2 with previous Yamaha models such as Tyros keyboards and GENOS. Whether you have a Tyros 3, 4, 5 or GENOS, transferring data to GENOS2 will depend on how you have your data stored on your current instrument. Let's get started. If you currently have a Tyros 3, 4 or 5 and all of your data is stored on the hard drive, use the USB storage mode to transfer data across, like this. Connect your computer to the keyboard using a USB cable. Now you can save the data directly from the keyboard's hard disk drive. With the power off, hold down the Music Finder button. Then switch on Tyros without releasing the button until the power up is complete. Now your instrument will start up in USB storage mode. In just a moment, your hard drive will appear on your computer as an external drive. Simply drag and drop or copy the entire contents of the Tyros HD into a folder on your computer. When you're finished, select the Eject Media icon so you can safely disconnect your keyboard. It's important not to change any file names or alter the folder structure in any way. Next, open the folder and transfer the entire saved contents to the root directory of an empty USB stick. Open the cover on the underside of the GENOS2 case and insert the USB stick into the USB slot. Although any of the USB device ports on board can be used, the underside port is probably the most secure, so as not to misplace your USB stick. Once you've inserted the stick, switch on the instrument. As long as no other USB storage devices are connected to GENOS2, the stick will appear as USB 1 and can be considered as a copy of the hard drive from your Tyros. From here you can select your registrations on the GENOS2. Links to the data on your Tyros hard drive will correspond to USB 1. For GENOS owners that have stored and organised all of their data on a USB drive, simply plug and play on GENOS2. Please note that due to new content on GENOS2, some of your settings may have changed. For GENOS owners that have stored and organised all of their data in user memory, then use storage mode to transfer all data first to your computer, then to user on GENOS2. Connect your computer to GENOS using a USB cable. Now you can save the data directly from the keyboard's user memory. With the power off, hold down the Playlist button, then switch on GENOS without releasing the button until the power up is complete. Your instrument will start up in storage mode. In just a moment, GENOS will appear on your computer as an external drive. Simply drag and drop or copy the entire contents of the GENOS user memory to a folder on your computer. When you're finished, select the Eject Media icon so you can safely disconnect your GENOS from your computer. It's important to not change any file names or alter the folder structure in any way. Now connect your new GENOS2 to your computer using a USB cable. With the power off, hold down the Playlist button. Then switch on GENOS2 without releasing the button until the power up is complete. Now GENOS2 will start up in storage mode. When GENOS2 appears on your computer, simply drag across the entire contents from the folder previously saved from GENOS. Please note that due to the new memory structure on GENOS2, it could be the case that some data needs to be stored on USB memory. The preset style selection has been updated for GENOS2. If your GENOS registration memories use a style which is not preset in GENOS2, a suitable alternative will automatically be selected. The original GENOS styles, which have been removed from GENOS2, can be downloaded free of charge from Yamaha's website. If you want to take over user effects data from GENOS, follow this saving procedure. Insert a USB stick into the USB slot. Press the Menu Gateway button and tap on Menu 2. Tap on Utility and then select Factory Reset Backup. Navigate to page 2 and tap on Save, in line with User Effect. Tap on User and then USB 1. Tap Save Here and then select OK. To load these settings into GENOS2, insert the USB stick into the USB slot of your GENOS2. Press the Menu Gateway button and tap on Menu 2. Tap on Utility and then select Factory Reset Backup. Navigate to page 2 and in Setup Files tap on Load, in line with User Effect. Tap on User and then USB 1. Then tap User Effect Preset and confirm with Yes. Close this page using the X icon. With regard to MIDI settings with GENOS2, it's now possible to save your MIDI settings in registration memory. Perfect for live stage performers using other MIDI instruments, even MIDI accordions. Now you can change your MIDI settings at the touch of a button. The dual song player on GENOS2 can handle 2 different types of song playback at the same time, which are MIDI and audio. Let's take a look at how to incorporate these great features in your performance. Let's select the song data for playback. Press the Song Gateway button and the display will show you both players. As a default setting, player A is assigned to play audio data, while player B is assigned to play MIDI song data. Select player A or B, you can still decide if you want to call up audio or MIDI song data. It doesn't matter where your data is stored, either internally in GENOS2 or an external USB memory stick. Tap on the song you want to select. Press X to close the selection and get back to the song player screen. Now you can use the playback function. Now select another song for player B in the same way if you wish. The dual song player can handle 2 audio songs or 1 audio and 1 MIDI song at the same time. For audio tracks, there are also enhanced playback features which can be used. For example, you can use Vocal Cancel to remove the lead voice. Time stretch technology allows you to change the tempo of an audio song.
Well, I feel so broke up, I wanna go home. So hoist up the John B. sail, see how the mainsail sets.
While with pitch shift, you can change the key independently of each other.
Let me go home. I wanna go home. Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel so broke up.
The A-B repeat function allows you to set a marker in your audio song and repeat specific parts. If you're using a compatible MP3 file that contains lyric data, you can show the lyrics directly in the display. Perfect for karaoke.
Sheriff Johnstone, why don't you leave me alone? Yeah, yeah, well, I feel so broke up.
You can also link to a text file.
So hoist up the John B. sail.
For MIDI song data, the player interface allows you to set a song position marker. As well as for the audio song playback, you can show lyrics or text file data in the display. Furthermore, the score allows you to view the score in sync with the playback. As MIDI data is flexible, there are several ways to easily edit, such as transpose and tempo. There's further editing possibilities with song recording on menu to multi-recording. Both players on GENOS2 can play back song data at the same time. With the live control sliders, you can easily adjust the volume of each song independently.
My grandfather round mistletoe waiting room, drinking all night, got into
While the crossfader allows you to seamlessly fade over from one song to another. In addition to dual view on the GENOS2 player interface, you can also switch to List for song player B. Here you can create a song list which can contain both audio and MIDI song data. Simply tap Add Song. Select the type of song you want to add and tap Add to Song List. Use up and down to place the song in the desired position in your list. Or remove it completely by tapping Delete. If you want to keep your song list to call it up later, tap Save, then Save Here and assign a name. The player interface in the List view also allows you to play back using additional functions such as Shuffle and Repeat mode. With Bluetooth, you can wirelessly stream music from your phone, tablet or other Bluetooth device and listen through your GENOS2 speaker system. Here's how to set it up. Firstly, press the Menu Gateway button. On the screen, tap Menu 2 and then Bluetooth. Tap Pairing. Now go to your device and ensure Bluetooth is switched on. On the screen of your device, you'll see G2 and an ID number. Tap this to connect. Once connected, when you start playing music from your device, you'll hear it through your GENOS2 speakers. But it doesn't stop there. You can, of course, play along with the track, putting yourself right at the heart of your favourite band.
my grandfather and me round mistletoe.
What's more, you can also record all of what you're hearing and playing using the GENOS2 onboard audio recorder. To do this, press the recording button. Tap on Quick Recording. To start recording, touch the Play/Pause icon. Start the music playback from your device and play along on GENOS2.
We come on the sloop John B, my grandfather and me round mistletoe.
When you're finished, on the screen of the GENOS2, simply tap Stop. The recording has automatically been saved as a new audio file. To listen back to your recording, just tap the Play/Pause icon. It's super easy to practice, perform and record. In simple terms, Chord Looper enables you to record a chord sequence and play it back. The sequence of chords will then continue to loop for as long as you like, using whichever style you select until you stop. Chord Looper can really support your performance or practice. For example, freeing up your left hand, enabling you to play piano or any other voice with both hands. Or maybe you need to practice a more challenging piece of music and want to concentrate on just playing right hand. You can create and store up to 8 chord sequences per bank and even use them together to build a song. You can also transfer chord sequence data from the Chord Tracker app, which provides many more musical options. Here's how it works. Once you've chosen a style and are ready to record your chord sequence, simply press the chord looper Record and Stop button. Sync Start will be selected automatically, so just start playing the chord sequence that you wish to record. The tempo can be adjusted if you want to record the sequence more slowly. Incidentally, you can also start and stop recording chord progressions whilst the style is running. Press the Record and Stop button again when you've finished playing the chord sequence. Now simply select the chord looper button to on. Your chord sequence will now play and loop around until you either turn off chord looper or indeed stop the style. To store the chord progression, you now need to create a chord looper bank. Press the Menu Gateway button and select Chord Looper from the Menu 1 page. Tap the Memory button on your screen and then the desired location area 1 to 8. At this point you can now save the bank. Simply tap Save at the top of the screen and select the location you'd like to save the data, to USB if you have a stick inserted, or the user drive. Tap Save here. Now name the bank using the keyboard. Tap OK. The box at the top of the screen shows the new bank you've created. Tap the box and this will take you to the Chord Looper bank page where further banks can be stored and selected. At the top of the Chord Looper bank page you'll also now have access to presets. These are a selection of pre-recorded popular chord progressions in various keys. You can now also store any chord looper bank to registration memory. Try experimenting using any chord sequence with different styles, maybe even at different tempos. First, record a chord sequence or use one of the presets and just play around to see how it sounds with different styles. It's very inspirational. As we mentioned earlier, Chord Looper can also be used with YAMAHA Chord Tracker app, which you can download from the App Store. You can transfer chord sequences directly from the Chord Tracker app to the onboard Chord Looper. First, ensure you have your device connected to GENOS2, either using a wired or wireless connection. After importing your desired track into Chord Tracker, select the section you want to send to Chord Looper by holding and dragging your finger across the screen, then release. Select Send to Instrument. The chord sequence for the selected section is sent to Chord Looper. Press the Gateway menu button and select Chord Looper from the Menu 1 page. Tap the Memory button on screen, then the desired location area 1 to 8 for the chord sequence to be stored. Make sure to save the transferred data as explained previously in this video. Play along and enjoy the freedom of being able to use both hands to play whilst the accompaniment section is taken care of. Chord Looper really is an easy feature to use and can become an invaluable tool in your music making. You'll find the HDMI output on the backside of GENOS2. Simply use a HDMI cable and connect the device on which you want to show the GENOS2 screen content. Switch on the GENOS2. And as a default setting, the internal GENOS2 display content will be mirrored on the screen you connected. But there's even more flexibility. Press the Menu Gateway button and tap on Menu 2. Tap on Utility and then select Speaker Connectivity. Select Display Out and then Content to decide which content should be shown on your external device. If you go with mirroring, all the content shown on the internal GENOS2 display will be exactly shown in the same way on the connected device. With lyrics text, only the song lyrics or text files, whichever you used last time, are output, regardless of the display currently shown on the instrument. This is the perfect setting, for example, when you want to enjoy karaoke or perform along with a singer. The live controls are designed so you can easily craft and balance your sounds and styles in real time as you play. Everything from sound editing through to drum ambience and style dynamics can easily be controlled to give you endless possibilities to your arrangements. Let's take a look at how to incorporate these controllers in your performance. There are 6 knobs and 9 sliders, all of which are already assigned to different jobs indicated in the screen located just above the live controls. Each live controller has LED lights to indicate their current position. To the left of the knobs and sliders, you'll see 2 buttons, Knob Assign and Slider Assign. Let's start with the sliders. Pressing the Slider Assign button allows you to scroll around 3 menus, each one allocating different controls to each slider. In the first screen B, you can adjust the balance for the main part of the keyboard, for example, style volume, right 1, 2 and 3, etc., or even mic volume if you have one connected. By pressing Slider Assign again, you can now control the volume for each of the band members within a style. By simply adjusting the individual sliders, you can customize the style, allowing you to create your very own mix, which can then be stored to a registration memory. And if you like playing organ sounds, you can use the sliders to adjust the flute footages like you can on a real vintage organ. Live control knobs work in just the same way. Each knob is allocated a different job indicated in the screen. Use the Knob Assign button to scroll around the 3 menus. Try using Menu 2, Knobs 1 and 3, Ambience, Depth and Dynamic Control while playing with a style. Just turn the knobs and you'll hear the drum ambience and dynamics of the style change, giving you so much more control. Now, although each knob and slider has already been allocated a pre-assigned function, of course you can change it. Simply press the Direct Access button and either turn a knob or move a slider and you'll see the main screen now displays a live control menu showing each of the functions. Select by tapping the function box of the knob or slider you wish to edit, and then tap again. You can now select from various categories and functions and allocate to the live controller. To rename the function, simply use the Rename tool. To revert back to the default setting, simply press and hold the desired function. Checkboxes at the bottom of the screen allow various parts of the keyboard to be affected by the live controller, in addition to the pre-selected function. You can even edit the functionality of the joystick by selecting it at the top of the live control page. At the beginning of this video, we mentioned assignable buttons. As the name suggests, individual functions can be assigned to these 9 buttons, making shortcuts really easy. In addition to the 9 assignable buttons, you can also assign various functions to foot pedals and shortcuts in the home screen. Press Direct Access, then one of the assignable buttons. Now, simply by tapping one of the locations, you can now make your selection from the display screen. Tap X to close or press the Exit button. Press the assigned button to operate the function you've selected. Various functions can also be selected using the foot pedals by assigning in the same way. Any relatable items applicable to the function selected will appear and can be changed at the bottom of the assignable menu screen. These settings can be stored in registration memory. It's also possible to personalize your home screen shortcut buttons. This makes accessing features that you commonly use very easy. Press Direct Access, then one of the assignable buttons. In the top line of the display, you can personalize your home shortcuts by selecting the relevant function box, then tap again to edit. Tap X to close or press the Exit button. You'll now find your assigned function in the home screen. Some really useful features making GENOS2 so simple to use. Let's dive in and take a look at this free app from Yamaha. Firstly, download and install the Rec and Share app for iOS or Android. Then simply connect GENOS2 to your smart device using a single USB A to B cable like this. To connect to an iOS device, you'll also need to use a Lightning to USB adapter. The required adapter will depend on the type of smart device you have. Please check first. Connect the other end of the USB cable to the USB to host terminal found on the back panel of your GENOS2 keyboard. We're ready to go. After connecting and opening the Rec and Share app, first confirm the instrument you're using, in this case GENOS2, so tap Done. To record a video of yourself playing GENOS2, first set up the instrument ready to play. In the app, the first page is Practice and Recording. Here we can adjust certain settings. For instance, we can add a metronome and adjust the tempo, although if you intend to use a style on GENOS2, turn off the metronome like this. Tap the Record button. Before recording, we can make adjustments like turning the camera on or off, switching from front to rear cameras, and also adding and adjusting a countdown timer to count us in before the recording starts. When the camera is in position and you're all set, tap on the big red circle, Record. Wait for the countdown timer and off you go. When you're finished playing, tap the red button again to stop recording. You can now audition your performance by playing it back. Just tap the play button. You can jump forward or back by 10 seconds by tapping these buttons. When you're finished auditioning, tap X. Now you can delete the recording if you weren't happy by pressing X, or save it. Tap on the Save icon, give the file a name, and tap Save. Now tap the Back button. Tap on the Recorded Songs button at the bottom of the screen. You can play back the recording by pressing the play button. You can now also edit the recording by tapping the pencil icon. Edit the volume of the track here. Don't worry about the timing adjustment, as your video and timing will be in sync. Use this handy clipping tool to edit the length of the video. For instance, if you'd like to trim the beginning and the end of the recording, simply cut them out by sliding your finger to the part you'd like the video to start and finish. Any changes can be saved by tapping the Save icon. Sharing your performance couldn't be easier. Simply tap the Share icon and tap OK. This will generate a file ready to send. Tap Save to Photos to save on your device, or tap Share to upload to whatever platform you'd like to share on: Facebook, Instagram, email, Messenger, etc. You're all done. Welcome to this Yamaha Discovery video introducing the power of registration memory on GENOS2. Let's get started. First, create your setting, for example by selecting a voice, a style, and an assignable function for live control. Press Memory and mark the desired settings you want to store in the display. Press one of the 10 registration memory buttons. Press both Regist Bank buttons to enter the selection page, and tap on Menu in the screen to select Regist Bank Edit. Now tap on New Regist, then Rename and hold Delete. Now you can enter a new name for your registration memory 1. Leave the selection with Close. Select File, tap on Save and select Save Here. Hold Delete. Now you can enter a new name for your Regist Bank. Confirm with OK, then close with X, and you'll see your new Regist Bank in the display. Press Direct Access and one of the 10 registration memory to see saved voice and style information in the display. With GENOS2, you can now save MIDI setting data to registration memory, perfect, for example, if you sometimes play with a MIDI accordion. Press the Gateway menu button and select MIDI on menu 2. Tap on All Parts at the top of the display. Here you might find some familiar but also new preset MIDI setting templates. You can also create customized MIDI settings which can be saved and called up from user or USB memory. As an example, select MIDI Accordion 3 Custom and then quick exit the selection by pressing Direct Access and Exit. As before, make your favorite setting on board, for example, for voice and style. press Memory and make sure that the marker for MIDI setting is selected. Now press Registration Memory button 2. Again, press both Regist Bank buttons to enter the selection and tap on Menu in the screen to select Regist Bank Edit. Tap on the second Regist space, which now takes over the name G2 Song from Registration Memory 1. To assign a new name, tap on Rename and hold Delete. Now you can enter a new name for your Registration Memory 2. Leave the selection with Close and tap on X one more time to come back to the home display. If for the next song you don't want to use the MIDI accordion, please make sure that the next registration memory calls up the original former MIDI setting. Therefore, for example, you can call up Registration Memory 1 again, change your desired setting and save it to Registration Memory 3. Keeping the check mark again for MIDI setting. Now rename the Registration Memory 3 exactly as before. To complete the process, save again your Regist Bank by tapping on File, then Save, and again Save here. Confirm by tapping OK, and then one more time to confirm the overwrite with a tap on Yes. Leave this page by tapping X to return to the home screen. Now, when you call up your registration memory, the MIDI setting will change accordingly as you saved it before. In case you call up panel settings such as voices, style, MIDI settings or line out settings by mistake, there's an easy way to call up default settings. Simply press Direct Access and tap on Panel Reset. Tap on Reset to revert to the out-of-the-box default settings. The ability to now save MIDI settings in registration memory is a real advancement, making GENOS2 even easier to use. We hope this video has inspired you to make more wonderful music and enjoy your GENOS2 workstation. In Arranger workstations, voices are usually created by playing back samples. In GENOS2, we are introducing a second tone generation engine, frequency modulation, or FM for short. FM sounds are synthesized in real time as you play. The result is an incredibly dynamic and expressive sound. FM went mainstream in 1983 when Yamaha launched what would become one of the most popular and famous synthesizers of all time, the DX7. This synth defined the sound of the 80s, with voices so iconic that you only need to hear a few notes and you'll recognize them immediately. Like Brass 2. Or the unmistakable bass 1. Maybe you recognize these tubular bells. And of course, possibly the most famous sound of them all, the DX electric piano. You can find the original DX7 presets in GENOS2 by entering DX7 in the voice search. FM didn't stop in the 80s. It's still used today in modern music productions. And GENOS2 includes a range of newly created FM presets. So whether you want to transport yourself back to the 80s or play modern music, FM will bring a warm, dynamic and fresh sound to your GENOS2 performances.